Hey, everybody, and welcome to Beefmaster Banner. We are your host, Josh Morrison and Jared Strickland. How's it going, Jared?
Going good, going good.
Hay season is our hay season is finally winding down. I think we got one more field to do, and we'll have her sewed up for the year. We didn't have a very good cutting those, so hopefully we'll get some rain. But we got a few sales to go over real quick. First, we'll go with Red River Beefmaster Performance Group. There was 76 total lots. It totaled $271,100. And the average there was 35.67.
High seller was from Bird Cattle Company for $7,200. It was out of Frenzel 3112 and a Dreamcatcher son. So congratulations to Bird Cattle Company on a high seller.
And I believe that was a record sale for them. So congratulations to Red River there. The next sale we've got is Swinging Bee. It was a Swinging Bee and Friend sale. There were 53 total lots. They totaled $254,500, and the average was $4801.89.
High seller there was for $24,000, and that ended up being the pick of the sale.
I'm not sure what the pick was there, but must have been pretty good. And then lastly, it was the Southern Alliance Beefmaster Marketing Group. That was this past weekend. There were 58 purebred lots, 181,366 total, and it averaged $3,074.
High seller there goes to Appalachia Beefmasters. They sold a pair for $9,750. The cow was out of a Troubadour and Circle C 91/5. And then the calf was out of Brock. So congratulations to Appalachia Beefmasters and for Southern Alliance for having a really good sale.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you can get averages, I mean, that's pretty consistent averages. So that was pretty good to see a few weekends in a row. Tonight we've got Clark Jones of Jones Beefmasters. I don't think he needs any more of a introduction than that. I feel like most everybody that is here that listens to us probably at least has heard of him. Clark, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Josh. I really appreciate this opportunity, and I'm really proud of you young guys for what you're doing. This is a fantastic thing for our breed, and a lot of us really appreciate you guys.
Well, we appreciate the kind of words. It's really fun. Jared and I was talking about this is actually episode 10, and a year ago this time we were just talking about it and didn't know if we should do it or not. So I love that you all are listening and enjoying it and really enjoy all the kind words. But Mr. Clark, tell us about your history in the cattle business, maybe before Beefmasters, and then what brought you to the Beefmaster breed.
Well, I appreciate that, son. And I don't think we got but 40 minutes. I could take about 40 hours because it's been a 35-year love affair for me with these cattle. But I grew up in the cattle business. My dad was in the registered Angus business and showed cattle in high school and been involved in every aspect of the cattle business every day of my life, basically. And lost my dad in 1973, and we actually sold our registered herd at that time. Economic times were kind of tough for us. So that went on, and we're blessed to be able to get back into cow business about 1981 and bought crossbred Angus cattle, which I knew a lot about, Brangus type cattle. And along about 1986, I had an opportunity by chance to buy a couple of Beefmaster bulls. I'd tried Hereford and Angus and Charolais and everything else, the bull of the week, Simmental, different things, and just absolutely fell in love with the cattle. We topped the feeder calf sale 3 years in a row. That now Jared's our extension service leader, and he knows a lot about that work. But just love the cattle. And funny story, John Newbern, who was a classifier at that time, Josh, came out to the ranch, and I wanted to get an upgrading program like everybody else does. And Mr. Newbern was an old ex-military guy and a really great guy. I worked for the association for 30 years and just a wonderful guy. And he went to the office with me, and we ate lunch and got back there, and we started looking at them old cattle. And he said, son, let me give you a little advice. He said, I've only met you for 4 or 5 hours, and I can tell you the upgrading program is way too slow for you. So I'd advise you to sell these commercial cattle and go to buying registered cattle. And I took John's advice, and 35 years later, I've loved every minute of it. So
Awesome. Awesome. That's I always love to hear how folks got started. And I know we've talked time and before, but I don't know that I've ever asked you that specifically. So that was I love hearing it. So that's awesome.
Well, it's always interesting to hear stories like that, Clark, and gives you probably gives a lot of people getting started some motivation to really get after it. But
sure, there's nothing, Jared, there's nothing wrong with upgrading. There's nothing wrong with raising commercial Beefmaster females and things like that. We need more people doing that in the industry because the demand is incredibly high for these crossbred females. As you know, been involved in your job, we're really proud of you being our extension leader in our county here and all the things you do for the people. But if you get any crossbred females, people try and take them away from you every day. But I won't get into that too much because y'all got a program to go with. So,
well, moving forward, I guess it's. I know there's probably lots of cows that you had to have admired over the years, but I guess just if you could give us some of the cows that kind of made you where you got to be, and some of your favorite cows you have now, and maybe we can get into some bulls you got promoting.
Well, I've been involved with so many great cows. Was partners Mr. Lee Adair, going back 30 years, the 6/2 cow, the great cow that was one of the marquee cows in the breed. There's not many of them. Actually, the great Oasis cow, I bought her when she was 12 months old and partnered with Rick on her. And funny story, I could talk all night about that. He talked me out of my half of her, and my dear friends made $1 million with her. So I've been involved in a lot of great cattle in my time. Like I said, the 293 lands. That's one thing that I love history and all, and there's not many cows that ever walked in this business that I can't tell you a little bit of history about. And but the Diamond of Soul cow 509 that's now deceased made our program, I guess, and started our program. One of the top performance cows that I was blessed to have, and everything I've got, I think in our herd there's close to 300 cows there, and probably over 75% have our influence either top or bottom. So that's been probably our cornerstone cow and marquee performance cow over the years.
Yeah, I agree with that. It seems like over the last years, that she's always at the top there and topping the sales, and even now, all the progeny that's gotten out there, you see her coming back with lots of stuff coming up in this all sales all over the country and topping sales. So
one that kind of stands.
One thing, Josh, I'd say quickly about that. I believe that, a lot of people want to stay in the past and things, and those are great cows, but, we're 3 generations in front of her now with our breeding program. And I believe that's what's important, that we've got to continue to move forward and try to hit the marks as a breed that we've got to hit. It's, there's nobody loved the great old cows better than me. I guess my library sometimes, Jared, when you're not busy, there's probably 500 VCR videos in there of the historical cows and things that I've learned about over the years. But as a breed, we need to keep moving forward as a generation after generation. We're talking about great granddaughters and great grandsons of that cow. So that's very important when we go to talking about how to move forward as a breed.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. You're always setting the bar higher and moving forward. And to do that, you got to keep moving generation after generation forward to get those better cattle.
And something that was Jared and I have talked about sort of just in our daily conversations is, you can take the great stuff from say 509, you can take those and put them on different bulls. And as the generations get better, you still keep those great traits, but you're adding more to them as you progress.
Well, that's kind of what we did. My partner and my dear friend, the Stonecipher family, what I did many years ago was I took my genetics and I crossed it on cottage farms cattle, and that created a lot of the great bulls that I bred at one time, and a lot of great females out of Adrenaline and Dreamcatcher. I owned Dreamcatcher at one time, talking about that top selling lot. I bought him as a 6-month-old calf from Rick that many years ago, Josh. And so we owned him, and he got around everywhere. And now he's, 15 years later, he's probably one of the most popular bulls they're breeding out there now. And we used him as a building block, and he was a great building block bull for us.
Yeah. Well, speaking of bulls, talk about moving forward and cutting edge type bulls. You're definitely a leader as far as the bulls being promoted and out there. They're, of course, we know of Game Changer and all that, but I noticed the sale catalog hit today and on your sale, and I was kind of breezing through the bulls there, and looks like you got some new names. If you wanted to hit on some of the bulls you got going now.
Well, we'll talk about it a little bit, but of course I won't, I'm so passionate. I like to talk about the breed, but we've got 6 trait leader bulls now, which is important to me. We built our program strictly on visual appraisal and performance. As y'all know, cow can be pretty and also have the performance you need. We've put a lot of emphasis on minimum standards, inch of ribeye per 100, a minimum of now our minimum is a 3 IMF. We've measured over 4,000 cows over the last 20 years or so, 25 years, I guess. And that's very important to us to make a standard bull that don't meet these minimum criteria, or females either. They don't stay there very long. So they go to the sale barn, not to the breeders. So we've got real strict criteria that we have to meet for an animal to go into our herd, and fertility is a huge part of it. We've tested for everything, including feed efficiency and all the things that are important. And we go by the essentials that Mr. Laster set forward many years ago. These cattle have got to breed and have calves every year and do what they're supposed to be and be cows, So those are some of the things we do. But, again, we've got these bulls, Game On, Game Changer, Rolex, and we've got a new bull we call Gridmaster. It's homozygous black and homozygous pole. We'll be talking about him over the next couple of years. The bull got a 5.7 IMF score and a 13-inch ribeye, and he's got all the traits we've been looking for. It's taken years. He's a Rolex son, going back to a sister, the eye candy cow, who's a sister, the Game Changer. So we've crossed those, the old breeding, the cottage farms Jones breeding, back with a new generation of breeding. So that's what we've been able to do to make it work.
That's really interesting. Be looking forward to seeing all the progeny out of those newer bulls and even the other ones you have as well. So, but I guess, you mentioned you just want to talk about the breed a little bit. You've definitely been a part of BBU for many, many years and are on several committees. So just like to ask you, what are some things, what committees you're on and maybe some things you're doing. I know y'all had some meetings last week, and I don't know if you might want to give us a little update over some of the stuff.
I am about that. I've served in been honored to serve in every position: secretary, vice president, president of BBU. I've been breeder of the year. I've been performance breeder of the year. I've been honored to win the environmental award. I've chaired most committees at BBU. I just got nominated to serve again, and if I finish this term, Jared, it'll be 25 years I've sat on that board, and I've been honored every day to do it. And it's a pleasure to do it. I tell you one thing, that daggum drive gets longer all the time. I tell my friends out there in Texas that are listening, they don't understand it's 15 hours from the house out there where they are. So we do a lot. The year that Nolan Ryan, my friend, was president, I was vice president. Of course, he was busy with all the baseball business. I think I drove something close to 52,000 miles that year going to sales out there. So it's a long way, but I've enjoyed being honored to serve there. To tell you a little about the board meeting, we had a great meeting out there. The committees were great. The progress of BBU is great. We're moving the memberships up 8%, registrations transferred are up. They're growing. The association's in good financial standing. We had a surplus last year over our budget. We concentrated on Robert Scott's now chairman of the ad committee that I chaired for over 15 years, that we increased our advertising budget, our promotion budget. Geraldine Novak's the director of communications. She's has a wonderful presence for us on the digital media that you guys are so interested in. There's just a lot of great things going on with this association. I'm proud to be a part of it.
Well, we sure appreciate that update. I mean, that's some insight that a lot of people, may not get to hear, and it's going to be out there for everybody to hear. So, I mean, that's exciting, and we really definitely appreciate all the years of service you put in for BBU and all the great things you've done for the breed to make us where we are today, and continue to build off of that. So.
And it's absolutely, and it's good that, we have it looked like there was a good turnout for the meetings. This past.
Yeah, Josh, this is the big, the June, the end of May or June used to be a June meeting for years, but that's they nominate the new directors, the new president, all the things go on. That's a big one. That's the one that everybody has to attend, and all the committees meet. I mean, they had, and I'm not sure, there's 9 or 10 committees. The foundation that I'm co-chair of, the Beef Foundation, we just had a wonderful report. Foundation to date is over 1.7 million, and because of the membership's kindness and belief in what we're doing, we could have a whole program on the foundation sometime. If you want to get my friend Lorenzo Laster, who is the president, I'm the co-chair, and he's chair of the foundation, and we could talk about that for a 40-minute program because it's doing some great things.
Yeah, that's definitely what we'll have to do right there.
We'll have to get you and maybe even try to get Lorenzo on here.
Well, he'd be glad to do it. Lorenzo really likes to talk. He's worse than I am, Josh. So it'd be fun. I'd enjoy that. Enjoy him a lot. Most people know he's the grandson of the founder of the breed and the past president of our association, and does a lot of great work for us.
I was lucky enough to meet him last week. Down at Red River, we went down to that sale, and very nice guy. Very nice guy. It's the first time I'd ever met him. That was pretty good. So I know you are involved in some satellites. Obviously I know you're part of SEBA. You want to talk a little bit about other stuff you're involved in as far as that goes?
Yeah, well, I mean, SEBA has been home to me. I was honored to be, Jared, this is how far it goes back. You're going to be president right away, I think. And I was president of SEBA in 1991. So that goes back a long time, and, met so many wonderful people in SEBA. Of course, I think you guys that are young and able to get out like you were at Red River the other day, that's great. And going out and meeting people and seeing other people. I actually, I'm a member of every satellite in BBU. I've always done that. I don't actually participate much anymore other than join. But with the satellite, the strength of this association, in my opinion, is our satellite system. It's a wonderful thing. It's somewhat unique to the Beefmaster folks, and it's an integral part of growing the breed and the work the satellite presidents do, and all the members. And I couldn't say enough about how great they do.
Yeah, I agree, and I would definitely agree with you, and I also agree with you on the standpoint of the satellites, how important they are. Jared and I speak on it normally. I think every episode, I think one of us mentions it, that it is very important. Always be a part of your satellite or whatever satellite you want to be a part of. If you want to be a part of all of them or the one that's closest to you, it just, like you said, Clark, it just helps the breed move forward.
Yeah, I think it grows the breed. I think our number is somewhere around 3,800 now, Beefmaster breeders total, and that's a great number. That positions us in a great place. And like I say, it's just going to go up from there because people are excited about these cattle, and it's wonderful to see it happen.
Yes, I think it's through the roof. People that are interested in our cattle, and it just seems to be, especially over in the Carolinas, it's not ever been quite as prominent as it has been in other places, but you can really tell it's growing. I talk to folks at work all the time, that people that told me they didn't know about Beefmaster cattle before, and they're learning about them, and they see my hats I wear and ask me about them. So yeah, it's for sure growing. You've got a sale coming up this month. You want to tell us maybe when it is and a little bit about it?
Well, I'll just tell you, it's June 25th, and everybody listening and all of y'all are invited Friday night. Jared knows that. He helps Justin with that. We're going to have a social and a fish fry, which I enjoy a lot. And I apologize if I'm not up there where they're eating, because I'm going to be back there talking about these cattle and what I enjoy doing. Our deal, Stone Sour for Nap, went together. This will be number 22 for us, I guess. And that's a great accomplishment in itself, but staying that long on a yearly sale, and we're going to sell about 80 lots of cattle, and there'll be I've always said we got something for everybody, and whether you like some of the different traditional type cattle, or you like the cattle that we're going to be selling will fit in the top 1% of the breed, and dollar T and dollar M in both areas there. And we're going to sell probably, I think I've got 50 lots and 49 of them are polled. It's going to be something that's somewhat I'm very proud of and unique in our breed, because I believe the commercial industry really likes polled cattle. So we're going to do that. And I won't talk much about it, other than I'd like to take this time to invite everybody to come, because you'll enjoy the friendship and fellowship, and I'd appreciate you being there.
Well, just from experience, it's a good time, and even if you don't want to come buy cattle, you
just come see us.
Yeah, come see us and enjoy the fellowship, because that's something I look forward to every year, is just enjoying the fellowship and seeing real nice looking cattle, and it's a good time.
I enjoy seeing everybody.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope, you never know. That's the crazy thing about production sales. Like I say, this is our 22nd one. I think I get just as nervous today, Josh, as I did 22 years ago, and it's still exciting to me. And I enjoy seeing people and shaking hands with everybody that comes, and talking about the old times, and with the older people, and talking about what's coming up with you young guys. So it's something I enjoy. I enjoy people. I've been in the selling business for 50 years. So it's something I enjoy doing, and I appreciate you guys' participation, and look forward to seeing everybody.
It's definitely fun, and the food is very good.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We'll have something for everybody. Those that want to enjoy themselves, otherwise we can help them too. So we'll have a good time.
Well, I know you mentioned just kind of wrapping it up, I guess. It's one thing we always like to ask our veteran breeders, if there's since we really do have a lot of comments of new folks listening to this show that are just getting started, and we like to ask this of the veteran breeders. But if there's any advice you give to a new breeder, what would it be, Clark?
Well, that's something that I appreciate, and I know I've talked to both y'all a lot, being young people, and the biggest thing is studying your lesson. I guess that's kind of country, Josh, but that's me. Don't rush. I mean, pay attention to what the industry's looking for. I mean, I've always thought the things that I can tell people, it's about the cows. It's about the cow families. It's about proven predictable genetics. That's been our buzzword for many years. And I can say in 35 years of this thing and all I've done, I've never bred a bull that I didn't know was mom and I didn't know was grandma. And I think that people that have been successful know that we are a maternal breed, and that's where people buy our genetics to create cattle, create cows. And we've been able to do that over the years. Sound udders, 2 and 3 generations. That's important. Know what you're looking at when you look at a cow. Ask questions about the mother. Go and research. You and Josh, y'all are so quick on the computer. Go back and look at the mother's calving intervals. Go back and look at how many calves were sold out of her. The grandmama, she's 15 years old. I was talking to my friend Taiji, and he showed me a picture of a 17-year-old cow that had 15 calves. That's my kind of cow. cows that stay there and do their job, and they're real cows. And you can make those cows that are very attractive to look at too. They don't have to, have a coarse look to them or anything. They can go out there and we've got 2 17-year-old cows on our place, and they still look the part. They raise a good calf every year. So, longevity is important, but study back behind what you're looking at. You've been there all your life. So me and you've talked 1,000 times, but when Josh and his dad-in-law come over, we sit down and talked about cow families, generations back that make a difference, still in production. That's the advice I'd have for new people. And I hate to be so rural, but just study your lesson. Go back and understand the cow families and what they mean. And that's what I would say, Jared. And measure everything you can. We've been, like I said, we've scanned over 4,000 cows. I can tell you the cow families that'll produce the carcasses we're looking for. So that's all important.
Well, I can say for 100% fact that you have preached that to Rodney and I, not to get in a hurry and to study those cow families.
That's right. And I believe if you do that, you'll be successful. It certainly worked for me. And I've been blessed to hang around in this thing a long time and be successful. So that's what means something to me. There's bulls that can prove themselves, but that you don't know their mama and the grandmama and all those things. But I want to see some females out of them. I want to see the other quality in them. I want to see what's important to being a real cow. So that's the philosophy I've always used, and it's worked for me.
And for new breeders, like us, we're still newer breeders, and you're right. It's easier to get those predictable genetics because obviously you'll have a couple that sometimes don't work, but for the most part, the predictability is
when
probably...
you can go and, I think when you come, I can go out and show you 3 and 4 generations behind a cow or a heifer I'm selling that day. And that's important, for those things. So that would be my advice to people. Don't rush out and get involved in something that, I'm not going to call any names, but I was visiting the convention with some folks from down in your area. And they said, well, Mr. Jones said, we bought a lot of cows and we're selling all those cows now because that wasn't what we really needed. And I said, well, I've done that through experience too. And that's what, don't feel bad about it. Everybody does it. They think they got to buy up some cows, and well, that wasn't what they really wanted to do, but don't get discouraged. Just get in the right direction and keep your head down and move that way.
Move forward.
That's right.
All right. Well, I tell you what, that's a lot of good advice right there. And folks that's listening to this, he's been around a long time, and I definitely would take it.
Listen to him.
Yeah, he's helped me and my dad, definitely my dad for years, and when he's give him good advice, it seems to work out. So
I told him buy a couple of cows one time, Jared, and they were the best cows he ever owned, and we laugh about it all the time. And because I love you, Dad, and have been for many years. But that's so important, and you guys need to talk to people because it's worked for y'all. Know what know the cow families, and know the strong udders, know the fertility, know the things that really matter in the cow business, long term. So
exactly. Well, just to wrap it up, we sure appreciate Clark coming on and talking with us. And but just to close it out, we'll give a quick update on the sales coming this month. That way you can be looking out. Real quickly here, South Texas BBA is going to have a sale on June the 4th in Floresville, Texas. Wallen Prairie Ranch is having a sale on June 11th in Lockwood, Missouri. Lone Star BBA is going to have a summer sale on June 18th in Sulphur Springs, Texas. And to wrap up the month of June, of course, we'll talk about tonight, but the Southern Tradition sale here with Clark and Cottage Farms will be on June the 25th here in Savannah, Tennessee. So be getting out and meeting folks, and sale season still wide open. So
Absolutely. And Clark, we do appreciate you coming on with us.
I love you guys, and I appreciate y'all too. And it's fun. And I guess I volunteered Lorenzo, and he'll be glad to we'll do one on the foundation sometime because it's an integral part of this breed going forward. So, and he's passionate as I am about it. So, well, he'd love to. I'll already volunteer before we ever get started.
Well, that's good. So we'll tell him that he's already volunteered. He can't say
There
no.
you go. There you go, buddy.
We will absolutely do that. That'll be a good time. That'll be a good episode too. But we do appreciate you coming on.
Well, thank you guys. Y'all have a good night. Okay.
Thanks everyone.
All right, see you.
Well, folks, hope you enjoyed the show. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. You can find us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and Facebook. We love to hear from you, so always comment on things you see. Give us a review on those pages, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Thanks.